Time for a quiz. Do you know what this is? If you said Lego, you're wrong and you should be ashamed of yourself. What this actually is an affront to God. The only brick people I have room for in my heart are these kinds of brick people. So listen, Roblox has a ridiculous number of games. You've got your classic obbies, your tycoon simulators, your straight up Call of Duty clones, your whatever this is. But then you've got your wildly specific anime fan games. Let's go take a look at some of them. First up is Your Bizarre Adventure. Listen, I'm not a huge fan of the goofy Roblox Lego aesthetic, but there's something about this title screen that brings me just great joy. Aw, look, they're getting along. And here we have our first example of the most beautiful possible form of evading copyright infringement. Look at these beautiful, beautiful names. So I've played this game before, and while it's been a while, I definitely do remember the general gameplay loop. There's a little story here, and you run around and talk to NPCs and do little missions and fetch quests to progress the story. It's a bit deeper than the whole run around an empty city and punch whatever you come across thing that these games typically go for, but not by much. You can punch, you unlock abilities, you get a stand, but it's really not that deep. Like here, I have to go talk to Giorno. Giorno makes me go talk to Koichi. Koichi sends me back to Giorno. Giorno then has me fight a bunch of these enemies. And that's pretty much the whole game from what I can tell. And spoiler warning, a lot of these games have this exact same format. I guess there's something about this game template that attracts anime fan game developers for some reason, but some of them break the mold a bit and try to shake it up. With this game though, I think I've seen all that I need to see. This has been a pretty weak start, but I promise they'll get better. Mostly. Anime Fighting Simulator. Looks like we're gonna simulate some fighting. So this one has you gaining experience from just doing whatever, I guess. Running?
Speed boost.
Jumping?
Agility boost.
Punching the air?
Strength boost.
Other than that, it seems like there's not actually much to do here, but you know, I have a duty to show you all the potential of this game. I could stop playing, I think I've got the gist of it, but no, I want to become powerful in this game. If so many people play it, it's gotta have some kind of big payoff, right? So I must train. But in order to train the body, you must first train the mind. I am calm, I am collected, I have a Zen spirit. Oh sweet, I can get my favorite champions like Sanjo, Saruka, Naturo, Vetija, and Sasuke. Oh, never mind, it costs 5,000 rupees? I guess Yu-Gi-Oh's public domain though. Alright, I've been training these skills for over an hour now. Let's see if I'm actually more powerful. So I began to fight my first opponent. It was a long, arduous battle and I barely scraped by. But after what felt like hours, I finally conquered my foe. I had accomplished something that I never thought possible. A feat that most only dream of. Nice. So while I wouldn't say that this one's like extremely better or extremely worse than most Roblox games I've played, this one's a tiny bit better, but not by much. A lot of it probably had to do with the fact that this game's more of a sandbox with a loose objective, rather than just a spruced up battle arena. It's not necessarily the most enthralling objective, but it does trigger little dopamine hits, which I mean, that's the point, right? On top of that, this game does make it incredibly easy to roleplay and unlock new powers, and the new powers are all taken from various properties. You can get a stand, and a quirk, and flight, and a bunch of other powers too. At the end of the day though, it is just still grinding for the sake of grinding, like a lot of these other anime games that I've seen before, albeit slightly better. So I get comments all the time about N, the JoJo game, on one of my previous videos, and I think the reason that I never played it is because it's just called N? How was I supposed to find this? Alright, this game's got a pretty slick presentation, I'll give it that. Plus, I get to choose my stand right off the bat. There's no gating or finding arrows and stuff. Alright, I've selected my stand. I was immediately dropped into this game's big open city area, and I saw a vast potential for quests, using Dio's Stand the World. But then the realization hit me. This is another one of those games. You know, the kind where you run around an empty city punching things without any clear goal. Look, it's got some nice production value, but I don't know. These kinds of things really need some kind of hook to keep me invested. If there is some kind of hook, I couldn't find it, and I ran around this city for about half an hour. If you're looking for a game that, I guess, just throws you in with a stand, this'll appeal to you, but I don't think it's for me. I promise we'll spend some more times in some of the later games, but for now, we're gonna swiftly move on. Okay, so right off the bat, this one is very different. You get to choose an actual character. Naruto, Roku, Reku, Fluffy or Floofy, and Ichini. But before I even talk about this game's gameplay, let me show you the absolute insanity that is these characters' names. Oh my god! Kirito, Tanjiro, Aaron. His name, it's just Aaron.
I am here. It is me, your favorite hero, Tall Might.
Everyone's favorite hero with one defining trait, one bald man. Okay, so there is actual gameplay here. You play as actual anime characters and not just your Roblox avatar with an anime moveset. The idea is that you have one or more characters equipped and you can take them into missions themed after specific franchises. The first one is Attack on Titan and all of the enemies are various titans. At checkpoints, you run into stronger mini-boss-like enemies that you can take down. And then at the very end of the mission, a big boss fight. What I like about this is that there's actual thought involved in the fighting because the enemies have AoE attacks. You can dash out of the way to avoid getting hit by them and it's kind of an MMO-style AoE thing. It's actually a lot of fun. As for combat, you've got your basic punch or slash move along with 3 special moves, and every character has their own unique skill set. This is shockingly fleshed out, and it's a lot of fun figuring out how each character works. If you die, you respawn after a timer, which can actually hurt you since every level has a time limit. As you defeat enemies, you gain experience and become more and more powerful. It's very straightforward, but somehow very fun. So I have a confession, I actually really like this game. There's a clear path here. You're not just punching the air repeatedly to increase a number, you're doing missions to improve your character. While the missions can get a bit repetitive, you see consistent improvement as you play these actual challenging missions. Plus, there's unlockable new levels through progression, so there's always a new thing to look forward to instead of, I don't know, being able to punch slightly better. You can also make rooms to play missions with other players, play hard versions of missions for better rewards, fight bosses and big raid battles. Wow, this is the peak of gaming. I can't see anything. And probably even more stuff that I haven't seen yet. This is a genuinely really cool and creative concept, and I'd actually play a real licensed version of this if it existed. If you only try one game from this video, make this the game that you try. I'm still reading One Piece, but it's about time I try some One Piece gaming goodness. Oh no, I think this game knows what I look like in real life. Come on, man, I just want to punch these bandits. This guy keeps on showing up and just wiping out all the enemies instantly so I don't get any credit. This is a game about pirates, and money seems to be the big draw here, so it's time to punch some bandits. Actually, I can accept a quest to fight a gorilla for like way more money. Now, just to find one. Oh hey, it's the guy from earlier. I bet he'll know where I can find one. I punched the gorilla, but it took way too long. Plus, I can't imagine that this is the best way to grind for money. Oh my god, his name is actually Sanji? Sure, he doesn't have a face, but you take what you can get. Alright, I'm done with the first island. Let's see what kind of other locations I can visit. First though, I've gotta buy a boat. Ah, she's beautiful. I'm gonna call her the Dingus. Actually, there is one last thing I have to do before I leave this island. Alright, to the seas we go! While I haven't finished One Piece, I absolutely cannot wait to see how this is explained in the story. A true fan can tell me exactly which chapter this is from. Alright, so I was planning on trying to get one of those devil fruits and seeing how it worked and everything, so I checked the wiki to see how to do it, and I'm sorry, I don't think I'm gonna be able to get one. Look at those odds. At the end of the day, this one's yet another punching simulator. It's neat that you have cool movement abilities and there's a sailing mechanic, but I don't know, it's definitely still just a grind for grinding's sake. Like, I punched a lot of bandits and I thought maybe I could upgrade to some stronger enemies and fight them and, you know, get some real progression. But, no. I think you're meant to grind on that first island for an excruciatingly long time. This is, unfortunately, another big open game with a huge world but nothing to do in it. I can't imagine that it's really that hard for these developers to throw in some kind of storytelling element, right? I've seen Roblox games do it before, so why can't they do something like that here? Let me be a new character searching for the ultimate treasure on the magnificent bar. Okay, so this is a straight-up tower defense game where you use various anime characters with unique abilities to stop the enemies from breaching your base. Every character's got a base cost and upgradable levels up to 4 times where they get a new, even stronger ability. However, to get new characters, it's gacha time. Okay, listen, I know that this is heavily inspired by Dragon Ball Legends, but you have to give them credit for executing the idea here in Roblox. The scene even changes based on the summon rarity. Oh, thank God. Rikamaru will save us with his ultimate jutsu. My man's about to drop his album any day now. Oh hey, it's everyone's favorite character, Flaming Tiger, from the hit anime Devil Defeater. And for my final gacha pool, the game has decided to jump scare me. Oh my god. Oh wow, they really did go the full gacha route for this. You can upgrade your units by trading in duplicates and everything. It's just like a real free-to-play mobile game. So at first you can only use up to 3 units, but once you hit level 15, you can add a 4th unit to use during these stages. I don't know though, I kinda got lucky with the gacha pools and I don't think I need anybody else. So I actually enjoyed this game a lot more than I expected to. I could go deeper into the gameplay mechanics, but really it's just a tower defense game. There's not a whole lot to explain here. I guess maybe I like it so much because the tower defense genre is inherently fun, but either way, this one's executed pretty well. Overall, it's a solid game. It's a tower defense game with a gacha element. Do I think kids should be playing gacha games? No, they should not. But if you're a responsible adult looking to chill out with an anime-themed tower defense game, this game's perfectly passable. I don't see a reason not to try it. My Hero Mania. I really hope that this one's not like a punching simulator set in like a big empty city again. When you start this one, you get to spin for a quirk, but only a common spin, no fancy spins for me. However, this one's set up pretty much the same as your Bizarre Adventure. NPCs give you quests, and you punch things to make number go up. Listen, I could sit here and play this game for the next 9 hours, but I can immediately tell that this is just your Bizarre Adventure with a My Hero Academia skin. I did play this for a little bit to give it a chance, but I mean, I really just don't see much of a difference. But just for giggles, I did spend a little bit of time punching people, and I think that's exactly enough experience to challenge Deku himself. Wow, that went great. Oh my god, the game gave me Krillo. This is already the best game on this list. While the title Anime Adventures gives you zero context as to what kind of game this is, it's another tower defense game. In fact, it's nearly identical to All-Star Tower Defense. You start on Namek. It's a little bit prettier with slightly nicer effects, I guess, but it's the same concept with shockingly similar everything. It does have one massive flaw though, and that's the fact that there doesn't seem to be any kind of speed up option. All-Star Tower Defense, the last one had a 2x speed option at least. Some might disagree, but I feel like speed increases are kind of a requirement for wave-style tower defense games. Either way, this one's got the gacha stuff too, but I'm not gonna linger too much on this one. There really isn't anything here that we haven't seen before. Anime Battle Simulator begins with 3 character options: Roku, Toothy, and Zaruto. Zaruto's the recommended character, so I went with him. You start out on what looks like Namek, again, from Dragon Ball, and you run around fighting a ton of these scattered AI characters with your NPC companions. This game starts you out with a free, perter, but you can use the in-game currency to roll for more and kind of a gacha pool thing. You start out with the standard attack and one special move, which for Naruto is a knife throw. To unlock more, you have to use your current moves a set number of times. The goal seems to be defeating enough enemies to level up so you can move forward to fight stronger enemies, and at the end of the Namek stage, there's a Frieza boss that spawns every so often. In order to unlock another character though, there's a level requirement, but all of the characters seem to work in the same way actually. You keep your overall level when you switch characters, but you have to go back and unlock all of their abilities again with the weird countdown system. So I worked my way up to level 20, which is the minimum level you need to visit the next world. The next world is a One Piece world. Unfortunately though, the gameplay didn't change whatsoever. The whole gameplay loop is, I guess, grinding enemies to level up and collecting currency to unlock more gacha minions. Rinse and repeat. You know though, I actually kinda like the combat system here. Like, it just feels good, it doesn't feel that janky. In fact, it almost feels Dynasty Warriors-esque with how you can make a ton of enemies aggro and swarm you. However, the actual progression is bland and the gameplay alone becomes super repetitive eventually. I don't know if this game's current progression is set in stone, but if you're the developer and you're watching this, there's a ton of potential here for something way cooler than this. Overall, I think this one's a tiny bit better than the big empty city punching games, but only because it's kinda trying to do something different. If you're not someone who can just sit there and grind the same thing over and over with minimal visual changes, I'd skip this one. So originally I was gonna stop at the last game, Anime Battle Simulator, but then this game just kinda popped up on my feed. I figured one more couldn't hurt, right? Right? Yeah, that was a mistake. So in this game, you're playing as your Roblox avatar, which on the surface, immediate red flag. But right away, I realized that this one is different. I immediately started beating the absolute crap out of this defenseless Demon Slayer character who did not fight back, and I was given the option to catch him or sell him. Now, catching him would cost me some gold, while selling him earns me some gold. I also only have a 60% chance of catching him, which, by the way, the stronger the character, the less chance you have of catching them. That's just the way it works. But hey, I'm sure that won't be a massive time sink. So I caught him and he popped up behind me as a little mini companion. As it turns out, these little companions have damage multipliers. On top of that, you can fuse them together to get even higher damage multipliers. And you can do a random roll for better weapons to give you an even higher damage multiplier. And when you attack, and not even necessarily attacking a person, just simply clicking to attack the air, you can get an even higher damage multiplier. And once your damage multiplier gets high enough, you can trade it in along with all of your accrued gold to kind of prestige and reset it and get an exponentially faster damage multiplier. So this game is literally just an idle clicker disguised as like a Pokemon-esque character catching game, you know, like Adventure Capitalist or Cookie Clicker. Like the whole point is to just keep clicking to make your damage multiplier go up so you can collect a better character to make your damage multiplier go up, so you can collect a better character to make your damage multiplier go up, so you can collect a better character to make your damage multiplier go up, so you can collect. So listen, if you have an addictive personality, avoid this game at all costs. You see, I planned on playing this game for, I don't know, maybe an hour, but then it sucked me in. I looked at the time and I realized I'd been playing this game for 5 hours. This game also has what I'd consider pretty aggressive monetization. While it's all optional, it's the kind of game where you're like, well, if I buy this boost, I can double the speed in which I hatch these eggs that give me these weapons that increase my damage multiplier. And while I didn't spend any money at all on this game, a lot of people won't even consider that the hatching speed is slow on purpose as a design decision. Yeah, so this isn't a good game, but it's the kind of game where they really just hook you in. I was gonna stop at the One Piece world, but I was like, the next world is Star World. What's Star World? What could star mean? So I figured, hey, I can just collect a few more of these characters, infuse a few more of my weapons to get a higher multiplier to beat this boss, and then I can go check out Star World. And then I made it to the Star World, and I should have stopped there. But then I was like, I wonder just how much stronger these little Avdolls are than the One Piece characters I just collected. And then another 2 hours went by. And then I was like, if I can just collect 15 of these Avdolls, I can fuse them together to get 3 strong golden Avdolls. And if I fuse those together, I can get a rainbow Avdoll to increase my damage multiplier. And then I discovered that there's dungeons you can go into where you can earn dust, which can be used to increase your damage multiplier. And then I found out that you can earn accessories, which can be used to increase your damage multiplier. And these accessories can be fused together to become even stronger and increase your damage multiplier. I would say that it is better than a vast majority of these Roblox anime games that I've played before, but first off, that's not a really high bar to clear, and second off, like, yikes. It is scarily addictive with its constant stream of rewards that, again, hit that little bit of dopamine in your brain that says, oh cool, I accomplished something. But really, all I accomplished was delaying the release of this video by a whole day because I just couldn't stop playing this game. You know, I've played all kinds of Roblox games over the years, and some of them have really good ideas and really nice potential. It's easy to rag on them, but like, they're good games sometimes. I mean, I also didn't have to spend a single penny for the hours of gameplay I got out of it for just this video. Was all of it amazing gameplay? Absolutely not, but it was free and accessible, and it seems like tons of people really enjoy these kinds of games. If I was to recommend one specific game out of the whole bunch, it would probably again be the Anime Dimension Simulator game. It was pretty much the highest quality out of this whole bunch, and I can see myself going back to play it again. But yeah, that was definitely an experience. Originally, this was just gonna be another Roblox JoJo games video, but I saw so many strange looking anime games that I figured I'd take more of a deep dive. Anyways, I really hope you enjoyed this video. If so, please consider liking it and subscribing so the YouTube gods smile upon my channel and enable me to make more content for you all. I really want to thank my patrons too, including Nats Ash and Cool Star Wars Reference Megan in the Played Every Game tier, along with all of these absolutely wonderful people that you see on your screen. Thank you so much for the support, and thank you so much for watching. I'll see you in the next one, and as always, have a fantastic day.